Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures, and it's a new year, which means a new box of Kingdom Death models, well, at least until I get my Christmas sale stuff. But yes, we've got the new Halloween survivors, which sadly were not joined by the old Halloween survivors, but that's okay because these look quite colorful and interesting. Now, I'm absolutely sure I'm not going to be able to do any kind of a paint job that, can match the artwork here, but that's okay. I'm going to give it a shot. I thought these looked really fun and interesting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how the plastics have turned out. I haven't even opened this thing yet, so I'm eager to see what we got. Okay, the first thing that catches my attention is this is not a single sprue. That's a good thing, because that means more parts for me to get pissed and frustrated at, right? That's half the fun between this and Malifaux. I'm always going to be happy in that regard. Well now, the sprue layout doesn't look too bad. These look fairly substantially large, I mean, especially by Kingdom Death standards. I don't see anything ridiculously tiny on that sprue. And I mean, check this out. Our White Lion costumed friend here is like almost completely built. Well, other than the fact that he's got a bunch of parts right there, but okay. You know what I mean. Now, I will say, this dude looks friggin' huge. Zachary, or I don't remember his name. I'm looking around on my table, and I don't seem to have any Kingdom Death models handy. Unfortunately, I do have my trusty Inquisitor friend, though. And he barely goes up to our costume friend's chest with his big fluffy feathery head. Okay, no, I do. I have a Kingdom Death model. I have a regeneration suit from the Gorm expansion. But yeah, he looks a lot bigger. She's an older one. How do you compare in terms of size of the Conquest model? You're right up there. Maybe it's time to have a Conquest unit made out of Kingdom Death models. What do we got over here? More bits for our Screaming Antelope costumed friend. I don't remember who is who. Are their names on the sprue? Let's see here. Just a Screaming Antelope, Lion, Crocodile, and Gorm. Gorm Nurse. Okay. Alright, what do we got in the Series 2 Halloween Survivor card baggie? Well, let's see. Actual costume pattern gears, along with the patterns to build them. That's kind of a nice touch. For those of you who are always chasing after new game play stuff. Piece of cardboard. Okay, pattern system explanation. I want to say, as I drop it, this is the same as what we've had in some of the previous sets. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. And then we've got this lovely, colorful artwork, which doesn't look like Lockman Lamb drew it. I dig it. I love the colors. I'm going to do my best to try to emulate that with painting, but I'm sure I will fall short. But I'm going to give it a try. These look really fun. I am eagerly looking forward to putting these together. And you know what? I will go ahead and grab some of my other Halloween survivors that we've seen over the years, and we'll get them all stacked up and lined up and shown off for everybody to see. So sit tight, please. All right, so we got our Halloween survivors all put together, and let me say that they were way bigger than I remember them being in the past. We'll start off with everybody's favorite entry, the White Lion, with his requisite bag of candy. You can see there's a little bit of a mold line there. Getting the interior of his face painted inside there is going to be a challenge and a half, as well as the cape. And it's funny because when I say that There's been some increase. There's definitely been some increase. Not to say that, Kingdom Death models are tiny by any means. Next up, much like her namesake, we've got the Screaming Antelope costume. Getting her posed, I forget which survivor this is supposed to be, but getting her to stay on that base was a challenge and a half. There's not a whole lot of contact point there. Good luck, folks. I probably should have pinned her, but I didn't. I look forward to painting these. I'm going to do an awful job, I'm sure, but I just loved the vibrancy of the colors on the artwork on the cards, and I did an awful job on our Gorm costume here. Figuring out where exactly those hands went was a challenge. Most of the other parts on these models were quite intuitive, but those hands sucked. Let me just say that. I could not figure that out. I looked at the artwork, and hopefully that's where they're supposed to go. My favorite, personally, is the newest addition to the game, the Crimson Crocodile. This is a big costume. But, I'm a sucker for, kaiju costumes anyway. So what can I say? Now, our friend wearing the Gorm head, I think it's very obvious she's going to be a bit taller than the others. Nobody's glued on those bases, at least the extra bases. And we can put them with their costumes from years past. The ladies, I'm not sure who's supposed to be who. That looks right. The Elvira costume. I was surprised these didn't come back. Hopefully our next Halloween sale activity, we see the return of the original costumes. We can throw our Halloween white speaker in the mix there. Maybe it's just the original costumes were more in scale with the original game pieces. You can see they're a lot smaller, a lot simpler, a lot less dynamic in their poses, that's for sure. Throwing the OG Halloween night out there too. Of course, even some of the more modern resins are considerably larger, so yeah, if you're worried about scale when it comes to Kingdom Death, I don't know what to tell you, but hopefully, considering that these four are in plastic, there is a good chance that maybe in the future we will see them for another holiday sale. So if you see ridiculous prices online, be hesitant. There is a good chance, and especially as things have improved health-wise, you should be able to get these as well, and hopefully those sales at that point are going to be quite regular. So other than the fact that they're a little bit larger, which to me is a blessing, in the fact that they're easier to discern all of those details and see what the heck I'm doing, I don't have a big issue with it, but I know some people are like, oh, it's too big, it doesn't fit with my collection. But then it's like, look what they're freaking wearing. Like, seriously, they're not going to fit in with your collection anyways. So, to that, I say the nay. I don't really have any big gripes there. I enjoyed building them. Pretty straightforward for the most part, other than those little tiny hands on the Gorm. It took me a while to figure out the order of how to put the Screaming Antelope together. But honestly, I think if you just take these piece by piece, little by little, they're really not that bad. I've definitely built worse from Kingdom Death, but still not as bad as some of those Malifaux kits. So yeah, definitely enjoy those holiday models, and hopefully we will see some new ones this year as well. So with that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.